Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. Massive drama yesterday in the VCT with Loud bowing out of the playoffs. 100 Thieves in absolutely emphatic fashion, and immediately after their defeat, rumours beginning to emerge that their roster is going to make significant changes. Less, arguably their best player, is due to be benched from the Loud starting roster. Why? Apparently it's not performance related. What is going on right now in the VALORANT world? Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I greatly appreciate it. We have, as you might have guessed, rather a lot to dive into today. Firstly, in the Chinese region, we saw Dragon Ranger Gaming 2-0 over esports, Trace Esports 2-0 all gamers. So simply one more victory in either the upper side or the lower side for any of these teams will secure their spot all the way through to the, of course, to Shanghai. That's a big deal. I'm kind of hoping that Dragon Ranger Gaming make it. I think it would just be a cool storyline because those were the Ascension winners. Edward and FPX, I think for certain will. So, you know, my assumption is it's probably going to be Trace versus Dragon Ranger Gaming in the lower side, and then the winner of that is probably going to be the final team to make it to Shanghai. But, you know, we'll see. Anything can, of course, happen, baby. It is Valorant. Now, this is the EMEA side. Fnatic, they took down Liquid, and this was ugly for Liquid, man. So, Fnatic, they're still not performing at an incredibly high level, but they did have enough to beat Liquid, mainly because Liquid just threw away this game one. This Ascent was, yeah, not pretty. Sure, it can happen where you get shut out hard on your offensive side, but still, to win the defense 9-3 and then to, you know, lose your offense 10-2 to lose the game, that's an ugly comeback that Liquid allowed to happen here against Fnatic. And, you know, I've mentioned this before and I'll keep saying it because I still find it remarkable. The series and the maps that Fnatic win are the games where Boaster is getting absolutely cooked. Like here he is 6-22 and they win. The Icebox, they lost in an overtime. Fnatic, typically a good map for them, but Liquid won it. Boaster, second highest in terms of, you know, rating, 19-15. They lost. Map 3 on the Lotus, he has 7 kills again and they win. So it's like, what is going on here? But yeah, Fnatic, they actually showed some good stuff on their Lotus again. Liquid just didn't have what it takes. And yeah, 13-5. So Liquid out of there straight away. And Fnatic do advance to probably make it to Shanghai. But they've still got to win one more series to make that happen. On the other side though, Na'Vi versus Heretics. And this is why I think this format is just so questionable to me. That, look, Na'Vi lost fair and square yesterday to Heretics, and Heretics played very well. Gen.G Fishy continues to get better and better. Here he is in the Cypher having an absolute masterclass. They lost the Lotus 13-11. They lost the Split 13-9. Super close series, but Na'Vi go down. And Heretics, they were obviously a great team during the first stage. I wasn't sure they'd be able to quite maintain that level. I thought Na'Vi, to me, were probably the marginal favourites. But no, Heretics, they get the victory. And that is Na'Vi's run ended here for the playoffs, which is, you know, it's the way the format works. Unlucky, you should have won that series. But it is, you know, it's strange, right? The Na'Vi just beat Fnatic. Like in the regular season, Na'Vi went 4-1. Like, that was very impressive. Na'Vi only lost to, who's the team they actually lost to, right? They went down to the end to BBL, yeah, the only team they lost to. So the BBL loss took them to 5-4-1 rather than 5-0. That put them not as the number 1 seed based on the seeding situation. They then play a Heretics team that they have a hard time beating in that matchup. But Na'Vi beat Fnatic, right? Like, Na'Vi might be the second best team in the region. They just can't beat Heretics for some reason. And they may well be better than Fnatic. They beat them the other day. But the way the format works, you know, they don't even get to advance to the final 4. So I just look at this format and I think, are we sure that the best 3 teams from the region are coming out of this format? Like, I don't think that's the case. I think you might get the best 1 or 2, but to get the absolute best 3 is, I just don't think this format achieves that for sure. With the way the regular season works with these strange groups, and the way that they, I mean, look at this, 3-3 all across the board, and BBL and Vitality didn't even make it through to the playoffs, and then even in the playoffs, you get these weird knockout rounds where some of the better teams arguably aren't even making it. But nonetheless, I mean, Heretics, for esports, Fnatic, Karmine Corp, that is a totally justified upper semi-finals. And from there, we'll see 3 teams make it all the way through. So, yeah, as Arda says, you know, they beat us again, fair play to them. But there's been a lot of discussion on whether this format is really the best, because I don't think that it is. Very much arguably, Heretics and Na'Vi, both teams that are in the top 3 in the region that should have made it. But, yeah, they didn't, because that's the way the format works. Unlucky son. Now, G2, they played Cloud9 in the Americas yesterday, and this is interesting, right? We saw G2 do that controversial tweet the other day, that kind of like suicide joke or whatever that we talked about. Cloud9 say, actually, we're going to donate $1,000 to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention on Mental Health Awareness Month. So basically just, good thing to do, but also just, throwing a dagger in at G2 saying, yeah, you shouldn't have done that, that was not called for. And of course, also throwing in another $100 for every rounds that they win. But they didn't win as many rounds as they would have liked to. As G2 says, since you decided to donate us a free win, we decided to double your donation. So cool stuff from both parties. But yeah, here we go again, right? And this is, Choke 9 with another classic, right? Like, they look good in the regular season. How many times are we going to see this? When Cloud9, they look good in the regular season, they're showing some promise, they turn up to the playoffs, and again, it's one of those single elimination knockout games. So it's just unlucky that that's the way the format is, I think, for these teams. But you've still got to win, and it's not like G2 have played phenomenal VALORANT lately. I mean, they got slapped around by Loud the other day, a team that did not have a good result yesterday, right? But it's not enough. I mean, G2 come in, Icy, I think it's cool to see Icy getting better and better, I think, because when he first came in, it was like, well, was this actually a good idea to get rid of Net and bring Icy in? But it seems to be working out as it stands. The Lotus was 13-6 on Cloud9's pick, and then the Ascent was a crazy overtime that G2 eventually win. But yeah, Cloud9 go out 2-0. Oxy wasn't happy with his individual performance, but he can't do it all. Vanity had a rough one, and yeah, Vanity was saying, hopefully you guys can support us going forwards, but of course people raised questions whether they might need to consider a move, as are the Loud guys. I told this to you guys yesterday that, like, I've been impressed by 100 Thieves lately, and I would not have been surprised at all if they beat Loud. But in the manner that they beat Loud, I was surprised. Like, I thought that if 100T were to beat Loud, it would probably be a 2-1, pretty close fought series. To demolish them like this was incredibly impressive from 100T, and just goes to show so much what Boostio's system has brought to the table. And also Zix as well, because Zix was assistant coach for the Evil Geniuses guys last year. He comes over with Boostio here, and wow, I mean, what a team they look like. I was watching Cryocells when he was on Exet this series, and it's great to see that they found a way, that this team and Boostio found a way to get the best out of these players again, because, Cryo was so good on Exet, and for the last, 12, 15 months, it's been like, where is this guy? Like, where is that talent that we saw? He wasn't really there last year, but since bringing in Boostio, they have turned a corner, certainly as of late, and they just crush Loud. Like, this is Loud on Icebox, and that they're very proficient at, and they were just getting embarrassed. I mean, even Les is here, getting similarly kind of nervous because Boostio's hitting a flank and Les is hitting the reload a couple of times on, bringing out the snake bite, and then he gets the frag. But that's the crazy thing. This series honestly looks dominant on paper, but genuinely it felt even more dominant than the numbers suggest.
Not gonna lie, making Loud look bad is pretty impressive. I don't give a fuck if this QCK, Aspas, it doesn't matter. Making Loud look that bad is fucking an accomplishment, honestly. They looked insane. Let's look at the stats here real quick. Yeah, that's just fucking crazy. Yeah, this is a life game. Props to him, though. He fucking owned both games, both maps. 22-7, 25-8. I mean, yeah. Fuck. I know for a fact all 4 of these players would credit him. All 4 of them. So obvious. It's so obvious how confident they play because of his system. You have to respect it.
Unbelievable. What a performance.
So Cryo with a 47-15 performance. Quick got absolutely demolished. And honestly, it's interesting, isn't it, that Cryo is a very similar player in terms of agents run to Demon 1, right? Boostio last year with Demon 1 running the Jet, running the Brimstone, running the Astra at times. Pretty damn similar agent pool to what Cryo has in his locker, and pretty damn similar results at the moment. 13-6, despite Loud winning both pistols, and they also won a pistol icebox, and they still lost 13-4. Like, this was crushing in the gun rounds, and 100T will be quite the force to stop here. And this is the point that I made yesterday. If I'm Pancada, I'm biding my time a little bit to see what happens here, because, it looks like Pancada's going to join Furia. But Loud, they've not performed this stage. They've now crashed out of the playoffs as well. What are they going to do? Reportedly, Les is going to be benched. Now, this doesn't make any sense on paper, because Les has arguably been their best player. Why would you do this? Apparently, the decision is financial based. So this is what Nguyen says yesterday, actually after FNS gives credit to Boostio. But Nguyen says the following: "Good evening, guys. How are you? As promised, I'd explain the changes for Too Loud for the next bit. Less's future is uncertain in the organization. It is most likely he'll be moved to the bench." So yeah, this apparently is, I don't know, they're paying him too much money, therefore there's something in his contract where he's on the bench there to pay him less money. I don't really know. But getting rid of Les can surely not be a good idea. And Rafa from Hero Base is the favourite to be replacing him. So yeah, I don't know. That's fascinating to me. Obviously, the team internally probably hasn't been in the best spot lately. Seeing Aspas absolutely slam everyone on Lev hasn't probably been great, and this stage, apart from beating Sentinels, which was a highlight, apart from that, and obviously they beat G2 pretty emphatically to nearly give Sentinels the playoff chances, but it's not been great outside of that. They were crushed by NRG in the first game they played. Sure, there were some caveats, but it's not been pretty. And QCK as well, so like he's obviously not played well, and apparently he's also potentially on the way out in addition. So yeah, crazy rumours here emerging that Les may be gone from the team in the very near future, and that of course Quick as well, who has not, been on fire, certainly not with respect to Aspas, has been heavily criticised by the fans, and he is probably going to go as well. So yeah, apparently this is basically a done deal. Les is going to go, and so is Quick probably. So what's going on here? Like, what are they going to do in the future? And as Zeltzer says, we already took one X-Loud member out, so of course they brought in Pancada to the Sentinels guys and then got rid of him. Maybe it's time to do something similar. So Wild's timeline for what these teams are actually going to run it back with, Les then comes out and says, oi, like, what's going on, right? Like, what do you mean, type thing? Because sometimes the way these things happen is that the players aren't even aware of their future. Sometimes, like often they find out themselves first by rumors that are going around behind the scenes on Twitter rather than exactly what they've heard behind the scenes. Or maybe Les has heard that and he's just kind of making a public statement. But yeah, so of course Zels is in the replies. Very interesting situation. Imagining what happens next here for Les, who's been great for that team and for Loud themselves, what roster they're going to build, like where's Les going to go, how exactly does this help them save money? It really is quite remarkable. But what it does mean is, with Loud gone, 100T continue onwards, and they play Lev today. So a rematch today. Boostio talked trash last time they played them and Aspas destroyed them. But as Boostio says, I'm going to destroy Cobb. Just hope that Aspas doesn't go plus 30 and we're going to win, which is always the concern, really. And of course, that means the other side of the Americas is going to be G2 who advance, playing up against Crew Esports, which is also the first game of today. So very much enjoyed your thoughts on all this stuff in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.